This is Trey with Safekeeper coming at you with a new how-to video. In today's video, we will discuss how to calculate your fall clearance distance when using overhead anchorage. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that it is your job to inspect equipment before each use, follow the manufacturer's instructions, check capacity rating, check maximum arrest distance, and select an appropriate tie-off point. When using an SRL or lanyard, it is important to consider your application and calculate the fall clearance distance needed to keep the worker from making contact with the lower level. Fall clearance differs depending on your connector. In this video, I'll go over 3 examples when connected to overhead anchorage. Let's go further into these examples. ANSI sorts SRLs or self-retracting lifeline into 2 classes. Class A with a max arrest distance of 2 feet, and Class B with a max arrest distance of 4.5 feet. Take those into account first. 2 feet for Class A, 4.5 feet for Class B. Next, add 1 foot for the harness stretch and dorsal D-ring shift. Lastly, add the safety factor of 1.5 foot. The lower level would need to be 4.5 foot for Class A and 7 foot for Class B below the anchor point in order to protect the worker. Next, we are looking at a 6-foot shock absorbing lanyard connected to overhead anchorage. First, take into account the length of the shock absorbing lanyard, which is 6 feet. Next, the deceleration distance of 4 feet. Add 1 foot for the harness stretch or D-ring shift. Add 5 feet for the height of the D-ring before the fall. And add your safety factor of 1.5 feet. The lower level would need to be 17.5 feet below the anchor point in order to protect the worker for the 6-foot shock absorbing lanyard. Another consideration is swing falls. Swing fall occurs when the worker falls when not being directly under the anchor point. This can cause the worker to swing into adjacent obstructions rather than dropping straight down. Remember, pay close attention to those user manuals and instructions. For more information about fall protection or any Safekeeper products, contact us today.